Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Case file number 1348, written by Aubreylaw. My quiche mutated before my eyes. Last weekend, my family and I stayed in a house at the coast to celebrate my mother's 70th birthday. We arrived Friday evening and decided to go out to breakfast Saturday morning. The restaurant we chose was a Grateful Dead themed restaurant called Grateful Bread. My husband and I have been there a few times and loved their delicious menu. Since we were a party of 7, we were split up between 2 different tables. I sat at a table with my husband and father, while my son, mother, sister, and her boyfriend sat at another. My husband and I sat facing the bakery counter and whiteboard with the daily specials written on it. Written on the board was the quiche of the day, which was a spinach, ham, broccoli, and cheddar quiche. It sounded great, so I ordered it. When the quiche arrived, the top was completely covered in a layer of cheddar. It was delicious. Nice chunks of ham and large, steamy broccoli bits. As I was eating, my husband said casually, "Looks like you got the last piece of quiche." I looked up to see the waitress erasing the quiche from the whiteboard. She then wrote in another quiche, which was a mushroom, onion, and zucchini option. I told my husband I was happy that we came early enough because I wouldn't have ordered that one. I don't like mushrooms or zucchini. I go back to eating, and as I load up my fork, I realize there's no longer cheese on the top of my slice and my quiche is filled with mushrooms and zucchini? What just happened? I asked my husband, showing him my food. He was dumbfounded. My husband is the type of guy you see in horror movies that is always trying to convince his wife that the obviously haunted house is just old and creaky. He is very practical, and even he claimed this must be a glitch. When I showed my dad, he just made a joke about the Grateful Dead. When we left the restaurant and I told the rest of the family, they tried to explain it away. My sister said the quiche must have been half and half. The only problem with that logic is the way the food was split up. Mushrooms in the back, broccoli in the front of the slice? And what happened to the cheese? Maybe I'm overthinking it, but it was extremely strange. What do you think? Case notes file 1348. My quiche mutated before my eyes. It's not overthinking. Even if your sister's theory is plausible, it fades away to me when you consider the distribution. No restaurant I've ever been to has served a split omelet or quiche this way, unless specifically asked. And I don't think they would for allergy reasons. They have to serve you what you ordered, what was on the menu. So, a quantum quiche indeed, in superposition while not being observed. Whenever you looked away for that brief moment, it switched. Just the standard wild machinations of the universe. Less so in love with the mutating quiche though. It doesn't sound very appetizing. Mushrooms and zucchini? What's that? No. Case file number 1349, written by Midas Artflower. The flight missed. The affair revealed. Betrayal unveiled. Many years ago, I was going on a week-long business trip. I had begun to suspect that my boyfriend at the time wasn't faithful and, as a result, felt apprehensive about being gone that long. The morning I was returning home, the room phone rang and it was him. This was odd because our routine was to call each other in the evening, so I was immediately on guard. Then I realized he wasn't calling from his place because the background sounds weren't right, if that makes sense. I confronted him, and he admitted he'd been out the night before, had overindulged, allowed himself to be taken home with someone, wasn't sure of her name, had no idea where he was or where his car was for that matter. Ugh. In his diminished state, I got him to admit he'd been unfaithful with someone else as well, and told him this was the end for us and good luck finding your car. Due to my state of upset, when I looked at the return ticket again, I confused the flight number and the departure time and missed my flight. The nice lady at the airline counter could tell I wasn't having my best day and was very accommodating, but there was going to be a considerable wait for the next flight. I was sitting around fuming and waiting, when a porter walked past an enormous box on a flatbed. The return address label was also quite large and bore the name Magda, and the country of origin was Belarus. And I immediately knew he was having an affair with a woman by that name from that country. Names made up, but that exotic and that far from our home? Sure enough, when I saw him collecting my things, I hit him with this information and thought he was going to pass out. He got so pale. Case notes for file 1349. The flight missed. The affair revealed. Betrayal unveiled. So not a whole lot I can say pisses me off and boils my blood, but this qualifies. Cheating. Look, it's not unreasonable to be unhappy in a relationship. You get together, you have good times, but down the road something changes or the magic is gone, you want different things, whatever it may be. You're unhappy. So the adult thing to do in that case is to break up. Cheating on your partner, however, is a total betrayal of trust and diminishes yourself. I mean, this is a person you presumably really liked or even loved, and then you betray her like that, or him? You're cutting your own karmic foot, and negatively impacting the ability of your partner to trust someone else in the future. It's just terrible. A soul scar. Now, I don't know if somehow, something about that negativity somehow enabled this unveiling of information in an impossible way, to know the name of the who he cheated with on some luggage bag that was traveling across in front of you in a random airport. But I do think it provided you with some level of closure, which can't take the pain away, but it's something at least. Case file number 1350, written by MiG-2900, the Adirondack Aliens. Summer 2003. Northern Adirondack Mountains near Saranac Lake. Around 7 p.m., myself and a group of friends witnessed a very strange object in the sky. The object was dark, matte black color and triangular shape. The object was roughly 75 to 100 feet across, flying very slowly over a lake and about 30 feet above the trees. The object made absolutely no sound. It did not have any visible markings or lights. It slowly flew from one mountaintop over a lake, then over another mountaintop, a distance of around 3 miles. Once it reached that mountaintop, it was out of our line of sight. This event lasted around 15 to 20 minutes. All of us experienced a sense of dread, unable to do anything except to stand and stare at this thing. I wanted to run, get in the truck, and get the hell out of there, but my body and mind froze in fear. And time seemed to slow down like you would experience in an adrenaline rush, injury, car accident, fight, etc. Discussing the event many times with my friends, we all remember the exact details about the object, compare sketches of the event with each other, and all experience the frozen in fear effect. We were not under the influence of drugs or alcohol. At the time, we were all around the age of 20, 7 males, 3 females, and 2 dogs. As far as I can tell, the dogs were unaware or unaffected. I believe we witnessed an alien craft not of this earth, possibly an extra-dimensional object with mind-altering properties. Case notes of file 1350. The Adirondack Aliens. The mind interfacing is the key detail that to me proves this is indeed an alien event. There are a few accounts of this now, where aliens directly connect to a human's mind, but apparently not other animals. Usually this leads to a sense of calm, but my guess is the connection doesn't always work. Think of a Bluetooth failing to connect properly. Then imagine that it's a trillion times more complex, so of course there's going to be errors. No matter how advanced these aliens might be, they're going to have Bluetooth issues when dealing with a human mind. Good thing it doesn't seem to have any lasting effects. Now time for the quote of the day. I don't make jokes. I just watch the government and report the facts. Will Rogers. Yes, there's a lot of jokes when it comes to the government. Won't go too deep there, but just to say, the military-industrial complex, spending $40,000 on a toilet, and all other kinds of things that are just irksome. And while it is a joke, it's not all that funny, is it? What can you do? Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell. Kinetic Symphony signing off.